not too unserious. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the move. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis. First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First, and my first thing every day, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from the Most High, asking for the blessings of the ancestors, the elders, and the community. And let's go. Let's get it started. Happy Monday. We do have a lot to talk about. You know what we do. Hour one, we stay local. We sweep around our own front door. Hour two, we go national, international, space station, and beyond. Hour three, a deep, deep dive with a person or persons of interest. So much going on, and it's all in one today. Of course, we have our Mindful Mondays with Sahara Ali. That's coming up hour two as always. She's back from vacation. And it is the third Monday of the month, which means we're doing my messy Mondays. So hour three will be my it's what I call my opinionated friend speaks out on relationships. Today, my opinionated friend is Craig Smith, comedian, contrarian, and friend. So that'll be fun, interesting, and probably infuriating. Attorney Ariva Martin is checking in hour two today to answer your questions and give us an update on how things are going with the trial of council member Margaret Lee Thomas. She's been following it closely, talking about it daily on her show. Haven't seen great mainstream news coverage, so it'll be really interesting to talk with her and looking forward to that. Hour one, what could be better than to have a long-term dedicated activist joining me? She also happens to be a long-term friend. She's the executive vice president at Community Coalition and has worked at that organization for more than 20 years. She was born in Mexico but raised in South Central, or South LA, as folks like to call it. She's got a passion for creating change at the local level. She's been a key leader responsible for building the organization's youth programs to fight for educational equity and leading efforts to keep children in family care and out of the foster care system and building organizing capacity. Aurea Montes-Rodriguez, it's great to see you.
Oh, good morning, Dominique. It's so great to be here with you.
Yeah, so busy times. First of all, congratulations. I mean, I guess officially it's not a community coalition win, but I haven't seen you since we got our new mayor, Karen Bass, elected, and she's the founder of Community Coalition. Of course, famously or infamously, you guys were mentioned on the tapes, that disgraceful tapes that led to the resignation of Nuri Martinez, the council president, and Ron Herrera, and where folks are continuing to push for Kevin De Leon to step down. How does it feel, and what must that dynamic be like now to be in an organization like COCO, which is at the center of city politics in a way?
Well, when our founder, now Madam Mayor, was elected, I have to say, I said, there is nothing that will take my joy. And including those recordings, I do believe that her election, the broad coalition that came together, Black, Brown, Indigenous, people of color, young, older, that the resounding support for Mayor Karen Bass is something that is indisputable. And, she's now celebrating 100 days
Right.
in office. And it was great to see the headlines yesterday that the city is actually giving her higher marks than most elected officials receive. It really is because she's an organizer and she's dedicated decades to building transformative change and to building multiracial coalitions and solidarity. And so for Community Coalition to be lifted up in those recordings was actually gutting. For me specifically, it reminded me of the challenges that we faced during redistricting when we had built the People's Bloc and had made significant progress in calling on the Redistricting Commission to bring back economic assets to the 8th Council District, majority or largest concentration of African American residents. And we kept getting blocked, and our People's Bloc, which had over 20 organizations, kept getting attacked. And now we have more information of what was happening behind the scenes.
Right, and why it was getting blocked. But how crazy to hear them discussing how do we keep those community coalition types out of city government. And by community coalition, we mean what? Progressive organizers. We mean people that have the capacity and the skills and the history of building coalitions between African American and Latino people to make actual concrete gains. I mean, what did you take that to mean?
Well, and the saddest part of that is that it was residents who were showing up to those commission meetings calling for the city to bring back the assets to the 8th Council District and to look at the larger, makeup of the city and to bring additional assets to the 9th Council District, to look at the 8th, 9th, and 10th District as priority districts for the city, and to see residents be the ones who were really clear on what the history of, disinvestment and of taking away assets from the community is the part that was the hardest to stomach.
Yeah, it's just insane, especially, for me, I was really most actually surprised by Ron Herrera because he has been an ally to the African American community and to organizers and has worked with Community Coalition and others. So, but just circling back for a minute to your point about this polling, 2/3 of Democrats approve of the work so far, the first 100 days of Karen Bass. Only 14% of the public disapproves, which is insane. No one has those ratings. And although people are still not convinced that the plan to shelter the unhoused has been effective, I think number one, she's still at the very beginning of getting that work done. And number two, a lot of people don't know the stuff that's been done already.
That's right. And, the houselessness crisis, the housing affordability crisis, that's been years in the making. And she's only had 100 days. And to see that the community, that the city is encouraged, gives me a lot of hope because she really has started out her work definitely as mayor, as a leader, but what I see is a leader who's organizing, the different players in the city to say, and the county, to get support from all the county board of supervisors on her declaration of the state of emergency on housing and houselessness. For me, it's just she's really bringing people in as opposed to ignoring the crisis that the city is confronting.
Aurea Montes-Rodriguez is with me in the studio. So if you want to see us, just click on the KBLA TV button inside the KBLA app or go to youtube.com and type in KBLA 1580. We are continuing our conversation. I want to hear about a special organizing drive that's happening among our city's women. That and more when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. Is child support taking your money? Did you know that states receive $500 million a year in incentives to put people on child support and find them guilty in those same state hearings? Log on to childsupportersfraud.com for more information.
The Los Angeles Urban League and Parkside Economic Development Corporation are working to close the wealth gap between black and white households. BWARP, the Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program's free virtual workshops will help your family acquire, gain, maintain, and pass down legacy wealth. Learn from the experts about making more with what you have, the Black history of money, joining the Smart Investors Club, preserving your assets in tough times, crypto, cash in or cash out, the wealthy mind and body. Register for this free series that could change your financial future at laul.org/BWAARP. Don't miss BWARP, the Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program, every second and fourth Thursday in February, March, and April at 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Register now at laul.org/BWAARP.
KBLA Talk 1580 welcomes the U.S. premiere of the Bob Marley One Love Experience. Open now through April 23rd at Ovation in Hollywood. Enter to win a pair of VIP tickets on the KBLA app or KBLA1580.com. A One Love Experience poster, vinyl record, and souvenir. This has been a community call to action brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580.
Congratulations to Revolution Company for being this week's winner of KBLA's Office of the Week. Log on to KBLA1580.com to enter your office to win lunch for 10, delivered by John O'Groats Family Restaurant.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Before new Cascade Platinum Plus, I would pre-rinse all my dishes because my old detergent just wouldn't get them clean. But now, I do dishes differently. A no pre-wash, no rewash, money-back guaranteed kind of different. Because Cascade Platinum Plus has double the grease-fighting power of Dawn built right in, with twice the scrubbing power, giving me a clean that lets me break all the dish rules. I just scrape, load, and I'm done. Yep, so clean. With Cascade Platinum Plus, I dare to dish differently.
Is the pen mightier than the sword?
They say the pen is mightier than the sword. At KBLA Talk 1580, we not only have a lot to talk about, we have a lot to write about. Politics, relationships, business, empowerment, and culture. The all-star roster at KBLA Talk 1580 has you covered.
That's what it's all about.
Be sure to follow us on all our socials for our latest book releases, op-eds, essays, and commentaries from our hosts. And, of course, download the KBLA 1580 app as we strive to remain your most trusted, credible, and reliable source for the issues you care about. This is unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
What up, baby?
Your ancestors' favorite radio station.
And your favorite morning show host.
Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Community Coalition is in the building. Aurea Montes-Rodriguez is the executive vice president over there. She's done a lot of work. And we were talking about Mayor Karen Bass because she's the founder of that organization, an organization which I sat on the board of for many years. And I'm constantly telling people, if you want to join an organization and you don't know where to go, Community Coalition is a good place to start because it's an organization that actually has members, unlike some of our, some folks it's just really leadership. But with COCO, there's actually community residents that are members. And I feel like at least for me, it's palpable, the hope and the sort of initiative that Angelinos are feeling right now, the way that we're coalescing around the mayor. It's like everyone's going, okay, we elected. Everyone's not like, oh, we elected the first black woman. Let's sit back and relax. Everyone's like, we elected an organizer. She's a black woman. What can we do to help fix this situation with housing and unsheltered people?
That's right. I still remember when our founder got elected to the state assembly, and a year or two after being elected, she came to us and she said, "What is the point of me being elected if our allies do not know how to engage me in really using a champion at the state to address issues impacting residents in South Los Angeles specifically?" And I think we've learned a lot from when she got elected back in 2004 to now her being mayor. And it shows, we didn't see her election as the end of the process, and, the victory of her election as where we separated. I think in her inauguration, she invited everyone, community-based organizations, progressive orgs, leaders, movement leaders, to, get involved, to roll up our sleeves and to work alongside her in addressing this this largest crisis, I think, since the crack cocaine epidemic that we experienced over 30 years ago when she founded Community Coalition.
Which is what prompted her to found now famously Coco. But it's interesting because it's like, okay, giant crisis, let me found an organization. That was crack cocaine. And now it's like, giant crisis, let me run for mayor. And I keep telling people what she told me when, we talked at the Welcome Home Mayor Bass event that KBLA did, which is that she's not trying to be governor.
That's right.
She's not trying to be president. She does not want to be senator. She came back here, left Congress for a reason.
That's right. Well, we called on her to come home. And I think, what we were seeing is that there has been tremendous displacement of Black and brown people from South Los Angeles. Parts of South Los Angeles that we thought would never look different. Even in investment, we have seen that people and families with children are being displaced. And so we knew we needed someone that actually Karen was the only person who could, confront the crisis in a way that really centers Black and brown people, especially from communities like South Los Angeles.
You say we learned a lot. And it's funny because I always say, had we been marching, well, Barack Obama was president, had we been marching like we marched in 2020, imagine what he could have gotten done.
That's right.
And so tell me what you mean by we've learned a lot, like what kinds of things?
Well, we've learned that if we don't have the people power, so if we don't have a formidable base of residents who are calling on our elected officials to stay focused on the crisis, they get pulled in so many directions, and they really go wherever the media is setting the conversation. So if we don't build resident and people power to demand and expect that our elected officials stay focused. Elected officials tend to deprioritize communities like South LA, Southeast LA, the East San Fernando Valley, the East Side, all of the areas that have experienced decades of systemic racism and public and private disinvestment.
Right. So the people really, really do make a difference. And so talk to me about what it means to build organizing capacity, right? And you're talking about South LA. You're not talking about organizing capacity in an ethereal, a national, or a non-specific way.
Well, to build organizing capacity, you have to open your doors to residents, everyday people who are the folks that are experiencing the most pressing issues in the community. And they're the ones, because they're experiencing the most pressing conditions, they're the ones who are going to be at the forefront of explaining what they are going through, what they believe are real solutions. And when you, create the space for them to talk about the solutions, they're going to stay committed to organizing for policy or for, to demand greater investments and resources in the community. And when they stay at the table, it's more likely that we're going to see an idea move into action that they can then monitor over time. And for us, as a 32-year-old organization, they are the ones who, when leaders change, but issues are important to their families, it is residents who actually safeguard the progress that we make over time. And, we see that, in different cases. LAUSD is one of the areas where we continue to see the value of building, people power that can support an agenda that's really centered on students and families in our LAUSD, the second largest district in the city.
Right, and since you brought it up, we're about to see a strike. A 3-day strike starts tomorrow. It is not just the United Teachers of Los Angeles. It is SEIU 99, which is the bus drivers, the cafeteria workers. And many of those folks really are severely underpaid.
The teachers' assistants, the staff that are working with children with disabilities in our district. And, it is remarkable to see UTLA support members of SEIU Local 99, and to see members of SEIU Local 99 demanding that the district value their work, because during the pandemic, they kept our schools open. During the pandemic, they made sure that our children were fed during the hardest days of the pandemic. They also supplied families with PPE supplies. They were there at the testing sites when testing became available throughout the city, but specifically at the LAUSD. They are the folks who drive our children's far distances when children cannot attend their neighborhood schools because those schools haven't been properly resourced. And, they are the ones who drop off the children at the very end of the day after children have gone through school and their after school activities. And so it is about time that we, stand together with members of SEIU Local 99 and demanding that they get better compensation and that they actually get better benefits, healthcare included, so that they can provide for their families. And to me, this is an issue that connects back to the issue of housing and housing affordability that we were talking about, because we want families to be able to stay where they live. If we do not make this kind of commitment to pay families better so that they can afford staying where they live currently, we're going to see our communities continue to change in the next 5 to 10 years, because families are going to continue to be pushed out of Los Angeles. That is not good for us. What we need to do is commit to the people who make up the city, who make up the district, so that together we can prioritize the needs of the folks who are most vulnerable. And for me, SEIU Local 99 members have been the essential workers for the district. We all saw it. We've all seen it over the last 3 years, and it's exciting to see UTLA and community-based organizations resoundingly supporting their demand for a better contract.
And just to be clear, the UTLA is also asking for a bunch of stuff. And
correct.
But those are two separate unions, two separate contracts. So I had a friend point out to me, wow, they want a 30% raise, but they're talking about, I said, yeah, but that's SEIU. So if you're starting at $17 an hour, a 30% raise is just taking you up to 20.
That's right.
So that's not outrageous at all. In fact, it's probably low.
Correct. You have teachers' aides who are earning $22,000 a year. The average wage is under $30,000. The district has practices of not giving SEIU 99 workers more than 6 hours of work, even if they're working 8 or 10 hours, because they're caring for children and they don't leave them just because they have to clock out. So to give them a 30% increase is a fair request, and it would actually allow them to have better income to support their families. The other point that I want to make is the majority of SEIU workers represent the most stable parts of communities like South Los Angeles, Southeast LA, East LA, and the East San Fernando Valley. So we're talking about members of our community. They also, a large number of SEIU 99 workers have children that attend the district. So what would we be saying if we actually compensated their parents well, so that they can feel proud of their parents working for the district and knowing that they are earning enough money to support their families? And you're right, UTLA represents the teachers,
right?
And that's why it is so huge to see UTLA stand in solidarity with SEIU Local 99, the way that 99 stood together in solidarity with UTLA when they were negotiating
in
their
2019. Yeah, we have news, traffic, and sports now, but we're going to continue this conversation. If you got questions or commentary, call me. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
It's Monday, March 20th. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The wait continues for a Texas judge's decision in a case regarding abortion pills. A U.S. district judge heard arguments last week in an anti-abortion group's lawsuit to overturn the FDA's approval of abortion pills. The Alliance Defending Freedom sued in November on behalf of 4 pro-life medical organizations and 4 doctors who say they treated patients with mifepristone. The Indiana State Museum has launched the Influencing Lincoln, the Pursuit of Black Freedom exhibit. The new attraction to the museum explores how the black community fought for freedom and equal rights during and after the Civil War in the 1860s, both nationally and in the state. That exhibit runs through October 29th of this year. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Stop going it alone for recruiting and staffing. Choose a local expert. Hiring is about getting to know people, not algorithms. So let the team at Express Employment Professionals hire for you. Visit expresspros.com to find the office near you.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers get a career-high 35 points off the bench from Austin Reeves to help beat Orlando by 6. Reeves made 16 of 18 free throws. He scored 13 of his points in the fourth quarter. The Clippers win by 15 at Portland, 29 points for Paul George. UCLA will play Gonzaga Thursday night in Las Vegas in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. Gonzaga advanced to the West Regional semifinals with a 3-point win over Texas Christian. Arkansas and UConn will meet up in the other West semifinal. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. This sports report was brought to you by Original Taco Pete.
It's Aaron from Original Taco Pete. Let us cater your March Madness munchies. Order with us at Original Taco Pete on Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash, or stop into our Slauson and Crenshaw location. We'll feed you soon.
It's getting hot in here.
KBLA Talk 1580 is apparently the talk of the town. From the LA Times to our talk radio competitors.
Hey, there was a story in the LA Times about Tavis Smiley. Now he is back with his own radio station, KBLA, black-owned and oriented towards the black audience. So, Mo, considering your knowledge of Tavis in his audience, what's your take on this?
Well, I think in a general industry sense, I think it's always good when there are more outlets, there are more talk radio, there's more voices and representation. At that point, I think talk radio had been too homogenous for too long.
Real quickly, is it going to succeed, yes or no?
I think it's going to succeed.
You think?
There's a new sheriff in town.
We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
California is a great place to live and work, but those aren't easy things to do for students also going to college. That's why the state created the Californians for All College Corps, a way for students to build skills and help others while earning up to $10,000 for school. Commit to serve your community and we'll help you pay for college. Spots will fill up fast, so learn more and apply today at www.cacollegecorps.com. That's www.cacollegecorps.com. CORPS.com. California is a great place to live and work, but those aren't easy things to do for students also going to college. That's why the state created the Californians for All College Corps, a way for students to build skills and help others while earning up to $10,000 for school. Commit to serve your community and we'll help you pay for college. Spots will fill up fast, so learn more and apply today at www.cacollegecorps.com. That's www.cacollegecorps.com.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, Maisha Cairo here, KBLA, live at Chase Bank on Crenshaw and Vernon for the In This Together tour with female business owners, a day of empowerment, community panels, and best of all, tips on building business from marketing to capital. I was able to speak with Kate Luzio, former banking executive and now owner of Luminary, who partnered with Chase for this tour. She makes it her business to build community for business owners.
Yes, so I was a banker for 20 years before I decided to become an entrepreneur. 7 of those years were actually at JP Morgan Chase. One of the biggest things that I had going into my entrepreneurial journey was a big background in banking.
So what advice are you giving business owners looking for financial backing today?
So Chase brings in so much knowledge and the opportunity to understand what financial tools are out there for business owners to build, grow, and scale their business. A lot of business owners will say, well, I need to get a loan immediately. Well, you wouldn't just lend money to your friend if you didn't know why they needed it. I tell every business owner, you need a business plan, you need financial projections, you need a banker. Because you have to start building a relationship with a banker so that they get comfortable with how you're going to build that business and so that they can eventually support you in different ways.
Makes sense. So visit the Chase Community Center on Crenshaw and Vernon. Meet a banker today. Tell them about your business. I'm Maisha Cairo in the community for KBLA with JP Morgan Chase.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Aurea Montes-Rodriguez is here. She's Executive Vice President at Community Coalition. We were just laughing because in 2019, when UTLA went out on strike, I was at a different radio station earlier in the morning, and you and I were talking about the strike.
That's right.
And you know, for many parents, this is challenging because childcare. I know that the district is trying to keep providing the lunches as they did during the pandemic and stuff, breakfast and lunches. Not sure, because on Friday they were saying trying, so I'm not sure where we are with that.
Because the meals are cooked by SEIU
Local
99
right.
members.
So how can you serve meals, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
I feel strongly that the superintendent needs to really act on his commitment of working around the clock 24/7 to negotiate a contract with SEIU Local 99. I don't think that he should allow for this to get to a strike. Our children across the LAUSD have lost so much time due to the pandemic.
Spoken like a mama.
And of three teenagers.
And I just have one, but it's been, for us, it's been really difficult.
And so, I think that the superintendent gets to play a role in preventing tomorrow's strike from happening. And he needs to pull in the leadership across the city that can help him come forward with a contract that really acknowledges the hard work of the members of SEIU Local 99.
I mean, we talk about pay gaps between CEOs and rank and file workers. From $450,000 to $22,000 is too much of a pay gap. And I know that Carvalho, I hope one day to interview him. I haven't, but I know that he loves cameras. So this would be a great opportunity to be a hero.
That's right.
At the last second, come in like Superman, and pay the workers. How about that?
And model leadership, right?
Yeah.
Model leadership. if we believe in public education, then and specifically to the superintendent, if he believes in equity and public education, he has a tremendous opportunity before him to ensure that the second largest district in the country pays all of its workers, especially the union that represents the largest constituency of Black and Brown workers and of parents of children attending the district.
I mean, it's an important point because we have a lack of Black and Latino teachers. We just do. We have a lack of especially men of color. And the many of those BIPOC people that are on campuses, Black and Latino people that are on campuses, are members of Local 99.
In a majority Black and Brown district, when you look at the makeup of our students attending LAUSD, the majority of students are Black and Brown.
Right. And that's true of SEIU 99. So,
correct.
You can't, I mean, you can because they've been doing it. But to me, it's terrible to have a two-tier system where the majority workers who are people of color are paid way lower than the other workers within the same school system. It's very apartheid-y.
Yeah, I have to say for me, some of my first walkouts were with UTLA at Carver Junior High back in the 80s when the administrators were looking to install metal detectors at our campus and remove our lockers to deal with the impacts of the crack cocaine epidemic in our schools. And so to see the teachers really working to correct that two-tier system that you're speaking to, it makes me really hopeful that we will see progress this week and that hopefully the strike will be prevented. But if not, that the leaders at the district will work around the clock to negotiate a contract this week, because when UTLA striked, it was SEIU members, after they heard me come to your show, who said we will bring food every day to Community Coalition so that our babies who cannot come to school are fed every day a healthy meal. And so again, that is what I know of the members of SEIU 99, and I really do hope that we see a contract negotiated this week.
It's another great point, because a 3-day strike could be a 1-day strike if
That's right.
even if they can't get it together. Even if the superintendent can't get it together today, which would be ideal.
That's right.
I'd be up here with the applause meter, but you still have tomorrow, so we can have a 1-day strike.
Correct.
If folks come to the table. Let's go to Big Phil calling us from LA. Good morning, Big Phil.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Creek did rise this morning. Jumbo, jumbo, jumbo.
Well, I don't know if
like
the creek didn't rise. Are we sure the creek didn't rise? Because there's a lot of water falling out the sky.
Yeah, about no water is about life, okay? Just like OJ said, give the people what they want. Give the teachers what they want. They need more pay, period, okay? Okay? And it looks like Donald Trump might be in an orange jumpsuit this weekend. We'll see. We don't know what they say.
Yeah, I don't think so. But,
okay,
but I'll take an indictment. I don't need the orange jumpsuit for now.
Okay.
First comes indictment, then comes conviction.
Yeah, you got that right, sister. Let me say another thing. This rapper thing, I love rap when it's positive, like Miles and people like that. This gotten out of hand. You got that triple murder in rappers out of Detroit. They was going to do a show, and the show was canceled. And one mom, I guess the immigration mom, white lady, had a black son. And I found all three of them dead, executed, all three of them out of Detroit.
I did not see that story, but what I hate, did you see it, Miles? What I hate is that there's so many of them, that I'm not tracking it, that I did, that it wasn't top of mind. Oh my goodness. I will look at that. I'm really, I'm sorry to see the rise in violence in the hip hop community, but it's not just in the hip hop community. It's, in the United States of America. Now globally more, we're starting to see, to me, it seems like it's coming from the pandemic.
Yes.
Not only that, you know what, Jay-Z and all them 50 Cent, they need to hold a big summit, And, and enough is enough, because they had a little clipping last week about since when Tupac was killed. There's been 90 murders since Tupac was killed. And it's getting out of control, that negative, that gangster rap. I love rap, but that gangster rap is getting out of control now. Guns and, bling bling, and I'm concerned. I'm really concerned about the rap.
Yeah, I wonder if the young, we should do a show on it at some point. I wonder if the young generation of artists really listen to Jay-Z and 50 Cent in terms of that, in terms of the street culture, street violence that's happening. Maybe they would. I don't know. Maybe the big homies need to step up that aren't in the industry, the people that are on the streets.
I be riding my car. You're exactly right. It ain't D, it ain't nothing. My get mine and all. It's getting out of hand. I like good rap. It's just getting out of hand, okay? So I'm glad to land, and you guys stay safe down there. I love you guys at the station.
Love you more, Big Phil. Appreciate you. I always hesitate to put all the onus for violence on hip-hop because I think we glorify gun violence in movies and TV and pretty much every aspect of pop culture.
Right. And I mean, the other thing that I think about is just the increase that we're seeing in, drug use of unknown substances that are also impacting our young people in the music industry. And we just have to pay more attention. And I think a radio show would be good because I think young people are definitely wanting support, right? And I don't think anyone goes into music thinking that their life may come to an end doing what they love.
Yeah, we're talking with Aurea Montes-Rodriguez. When we come forward, we're going to hear about the Women's Organizing Initiative. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
Need legal help? Attorney Jovan Blacknell is an aggressive trial attorney specializing in criminal defense and civil litigation. Look no further than the law office of Jovan Blacknell. From personal injury to criminal defense, Jovan Blacknell has the knowledge to protect your rights. The law office of Jovan Blacknell understands the stress and anxiety that come with legal issues. That's why the law office of Jovan Blacknell supports the right to a fair trial. For Los Angeles Council member Mark Ridley Thomas, are you facing a legal battle? Log on to fightforjustice.com. Don't go through it alone. Let the law office of Jovan Blacknell fight for your rights. Log on to fightforjustice.com. Let the law office of Jovan Blacknell take the worry and stress out of your case. Call 310-469-9117 today for a free consultation. That's 310-469-9117 or log on to fightforjustice.com. Law office of Jovan Blacknell, where experience and dedication make the difference.
Did you know California black women serve as breadwinners in 80% of black households, yet only make 55 cents on the dollar to their white male counterparts? Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by Lendistry. Story courtesy of CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. In honor of Women's History Month, the Black Women's Collective and a host of experts, policymakers, labor leaders, and more gathered to create an economic action plan for black women. The facts remain that black women serve as breadwinners in 80% of black households, yet only make 55 cents on the dollar to their white male counterparts. This wage gap is one of the largest in the nation. California falls short of the national rate at 63 cents on the dollar. I'm Maisha Cairo. That's your K-Black Minute News.
Thanks to our new sponsor, Lendistry. Lendistry is a national black-led small business lender that is headquartered in Los Angeles. Lendistry helps small business owners access the affordable capital needed to grow. Visit Lendistry, LENDISTRY.com/KBLA today.
Gotta stay fresh, my house shot with a rest bar,
Have you visited us online for the grand opening of KBLA.store? For the best in new merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store. Be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all the official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580.
The bounce is back.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Aurea Montes-Rodriguez is with us. She's Executive Vice President at Community Coalition, and she's worked there for a couple decades, gotten a lot of things done in those decades. And it seems like what I'm observing is that Community Coalition is broadening its work around training community organizers. The thing that drew me to the organization in the first place was the training of youth organizers with concrete skills and organizing, helping them organize on their own high school campuses. Now I'm hearing about a women's initiative. What is that, and what's going on?
Well, Dominique, it's so exciting. So as a 32-year-old organization, one of the things that our board began to do in 2016 was really think about what it means to build a Black-Brown organization focused on building people power at the local level. And for us, one of the things that we know has made all the difference in how the city and the county and the state looks at South Los Angeles. It is the voices of Black and Brown folks coming together, including young people. And so we actually made a decision to build a center for community organizing that is going to be dedicated to local power building across the country with people of color, those who have the most at stake at winning progressive, transformative change. And so we have already done 6 organizing fellowships and have trained over 80 community organizers, Black, Brown, LGBTQ. And we are getting ready to launch the inaugural Women Identified Fellowship for women who are in base building, power building organizations across the county of Los Angeles and who want to strengthen their community organizing skills. And we look at the history of organizing, the art and science of organizing, but we want to recruit women organizers who are committing to building a base in their local communities. And, last year we held the inaugural National Organizing Fellowship, and we did it in coalition with groups in Detroit, Michigan, in Jackson, Mississippi, and Colorado Springs, and also in Chicago. And so for us, the fellowships are building on work that we've already done in South Los Angeles, but we also are co-designing the fellowships with leaders who are experienced in organizing and who have, organized for decades in their respective communities.
I mean, I love that organizers from other communities are looking at what's working here and the work that the Community Coalition has done and taking advantage of the knowledge and the expertise. And so how do people get involved? Like if they're in another city, another state, or if they're even here locally and they're a woman thinking, maybe I should be part of that fellowship or be part of that training.
So the Women's Organizing Fellowship, the application is out, and for anyone who's interested, and one more thing about the Women Organizing Fellowship, we did name it after Deborah Lee, who is no longer with us, but was one of the relative caregivers who actually helped advance the campaign of family care, not foster care, and organized hundreds of women, but most importantly, changed the landscape of the child welfare system from South Los Angeles. So the fellowship, folks can come to www.cocosouthla.org and look under the Center for Community Organizing. The application will be available there. We're also getting ready to launch the application for the National Organizing Fellowship. It will be the second one that we hold. And for folks who are in other cities across the country, especially in majority Black and brown areas, we really want to encourage them to apply. So again, they can come to same www.cocosouthla.org and let us know that they would like to apply.
Coco South LA Community Coalition organizing the organizers. More with Aurea when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud.
A great place for progressive politics.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for education as a right, not a privilege. Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science is a private, non-profit, community-founded, student-centered university committed to cultivating diverse health profession leaders who are dedicated to social justice and health equity for underserved populations. CDU does this through outstanding education, clinical service, and community engagement. Recently, Charles Drew University made history by opening only the 5th medical school at an historically Black university. Congratulations, South LA, and congratulations to the Dean of the medical school, Dr. Deborah Protho-Stith. CDU is now training doctors and providing $90 million in annual economic benefit to Watts and surrounding neighborhoods. To apply for medical school, get more information, or sign your child up for the Junior Doctors Saturday School program, visit cdrewu.edu. That's cdrewu.edu. At KBLA, we are dedicated to equity in education and ending healthcare apartheid, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates Women's History Month, sponsored by Walmart. As we celebrate Women's History Month this month, KBLA Talk 1580 would like to spotlight women leaders in our community who are creating positive change. If you or someone you know is making a difference in your community, please nominate them with a 50-word or less post on why you feel they should be included in the KBLA Women's Series, sponsored by Walmart. These women leaders will be featured on KBLA, interviewed on KBLA, and participate in a panel discussion hosted by Ariva Martin in real time. Visit the KBLA app or log on to KBLA1580.com to nominate a woman in your community that is creating positive change. This has been a KBLA Talk 1580 community call to action. We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Aurea Montes-Rodriguez is with us. She is Vice President, Executive Vice President at Community Coalition in South Los Angeles, and they're doing a very impactful organizing the organizers. So we have a new program coming up focused on women. Tell us what the opportunity is and how people can get involved.
Yes, so we are launching the Deborah Lee Community Organizing Fellowship dedicated or focused on women identified organizers across LA County. So if you work at an organization that believes that local power building is an effective strategy, we want you to consider applying for this fellowship. We'll look at the history of movements and community organizing, especially the role of women organizers, the art and science of organizing, and we want to make sure that the skills that you gain in the fellowship are ones that you can take back to your organizations so that you can build people power in your respective communities.
So folks should just go to your website, cocosouthla.org. That's cocosouthla.org. That's good stuff. I mean, if people aren't familiar, that is really one of the things that Community Coalition is known for.
Yes, over 30 years, community organizing has been the core strategy that we've exercised both to build people and political power and to build multiracial solidarity.
And the thing about it is there is a science to it. I mean, people organize and they protest just because they organize and they protest. You know, they do it on their own. Not everybody is trained, but
it is hard work.
It's hard work, and they're
building
tools.
Relationships and building the leadership of the people who are most impacted by the issues that they are seeking to address. And it works because people experiencing, the conditions that we are seeking to change are the best equipped to demand and call for solutions that can be transformative for their communities.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm always promoting Community Coalition, not just because I used to be on the board, but because it's not just a bunch of press conferences. You get to do concrete organizing, and then there are concrete outcomes. Millions of dollars to South LA schools, actual policy changes that you can point to.
And structural changes, the local control funding formula and, the commitment to investing in students who are English learner, foster youth, low income, that codification of the local control funding formula allowed us to push at the LAUSD to go further and look at community indicators like exposure to gun violence to determine the level of need in a school so that we can move away from saying that all schools experience the same level of poverty or inequities. We know that that's not true. There are areas that experience greater levels of poverty. And so getting to structural change and policy change is what residents have demonstrated works when we want to see changes in our local communities.
Aurea Montes-Rodriguez, thank you so much for coming in, being on YouTube with me, and for your support of KBLA, Talk 1580.
Thank you, Dominique. It's an honor, and thank you for all the work that you do on the radio and for our community.
CocoSouthLA.org. We're coming forward. We're going to be talking about Mark Ridley Thomas. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
It's Monday, March 20th. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The wait continues for a Texas judge's decision in a case regarding abortion pills. A U.S. district judge heard arguments last week in an anti-abortion group's lawsuit to overturn the FDA's approval of abortion pills. The Alliance Defending Freedom sued in November on behalf of 4 pro-life medical organizations and 4 doctors who say they treated patients with mifepristone. The Indiana State Museum has launched the Influencing Lincoln, the Pursuit of Black Freedom exhibit. The new attraction to the museum explores how the black community fought for freedom and